Okay, good morning. So we're up to Siman Reish Mem Tes Halach Gimel Sif Gimel. Mr. We'll finish off the Siman today. Interesting halachas. So yesterday we spoke about things that you should avoid doing on Erev Shabbos, i.e., not to eat too much on Erev Shabbos. It will take away from your appetite on Friday nights, and it will diminish your Oneg Shabbos. So says the halacha in Sif Gimel, Derech Anshe Maisa Lis'anis b'chol Erev Shabbos. This is sort of going even further, that there are Anshe Maisa, men of stature, who fast on every Erev Shabbos. However, the Mishnah Berurah says this, Yudches, Kadeshu Ta'evim Lechol B'layla. They fast so that they will have a healthy appetite come Friday night. V'ayin b'bach u'morgen Avram Mashari Achreinim she'eskimu de'ein lisanas b'Erev Shabbos. They actually say it's not a good idea. You should not fast on Erev Shabbos. Kadesh le'ikonis l'Shabbos kasher mu'una. Yeah, we know what we feel like at the end of a fast day, and you shouldn't come into Shabbos feeling totally weary and exhausted. Im loishu istanis kol kach, unless a person is such an istanis that he eats, a tiny amount, and that spoils his appetite for the rest of the day, then maybe he's different. Shem yochel bayom le'yochel echel b'layla te'ovin. Oz minig tov who remain mazik le'atanis if the tanis is not going to be mazik him. But I think for the vast majority of people, what the Mogen Avram and the Bach are saying is that it's not a good idea to fast in Erev Shabbos because you'll come into Shabbos just weary and exhausted. Dalet. In Kibbel Olav Lis Anis B'Erev Shabbos. So let's say a person, for whatever reason, decided to take upon himself a fast on Erev Shabbos. The question is, when does it go out? Say, for example, now in the summer. So we daven Mariv, plug is really late at the moment. So we're getting to the point where it's the latest plug of 7:38 p.m. So we daven Mincha and Kabbalah Shabbos, let's say 7:15, so that we're home by 8:15. But it doesn't get dark, for a while later. Here in London, until the moment this Motzei Shabbos is the latest one of the year, 10:38. In other places, 9:30, 10 o'clock. So when you are Makabel Tanis on Friday, when does it go out? Does it go out when you're Makabel Shabbos, or does it go out when it's Nacht, when it's dark? So that's the issue over here. So says the Mechaber in Daled, Im Kibbel Olav Lisanas B'Erev Shabbos, a person undertook a fast on Friday, Tzorich Lihisanos Ad Seisach Kechavim. The first opinion is that you fast until it gets dark, Im Lo Shepirish B'Shas Kabbalah Satanis Ad She'ashlim Ad Tzibur B'Tfiloson, unless you expressly stipulated that the tanis, the fast, should end when the tzibur have finished davening. Says the Ramah, v'yesh oimrim d'lo yashlim, that you shouldn't be mashlim. In other words, you shouldn't wait till nacht. That you should, as soon as you leave shul, you come home and you eat. You have to wait till night. Lachein, and therefore the Ramah is sort of machri, and he says the following. Tanis yochid lo yashlim. If it's an individual tanis that you personally took on this tanis, lo yashlim, don't wait until nacht. V'tov lefarish ken b'shas kabbalah satanis. You can be somech to eat already from when shul finishes, when you finish davening, and try and express that. It's better to express that when you're makabel the tanis. Or the tanis sibur, but if there's a tanis sibur, which for example asor b'tevis, then yashlim. Then everyone has to wait until Nacht, v'hochi nog, and that indeed is the minhag. Vimu tanis chaloim, if however the reason for the tanis is a tanis chaloim, a person had a very bad dream, and therefore you want to mitigate the effect of the dream by fasting, there we say that you wait, everyone says you should wait until Nacht, until the Sesek Yechavim. Okay, let's see the Mishnah Berurah. Sif Kotzen Yutes. Tzorich lisanis. So, a person was makabel a fast on Erev Shabbos, he needs to fast. The first opinion is the Mechaber says until Seisach Kechavim. U'kumoyim kibul tanis stam b'shayim ashvur d'dinei al Seisach Kechavim dafka. Just saying, if a person for whatever reason undertook a fast day during the week on a Monday or Tuesday, he has to fast until night time. Also too on Friday. And during the week, if you undertake to fast the whole of Thursday, you have to wait until Nacht, and davening early is not going to take away from that. So too over here. And it's not a problem that he's entering Shabbos when he's a bit famished and weary. Even though on the day of Shabbos you shouldn't really fast. Unless you expressly said that the tanis goes out when you finish davening Ma'ariv. Because if you expressly said that, then even though it's bright sunshine outside, then that's the end of your tanis. And so too, a person can be makabel lechatzi tanis until mincha time. Okay. However, the Ramah says v'yesh omrim delo yashlim, that actually, if you are makabel tanis on a Friday, it only goes until Ma'ariv. Hayesh omrim svir lehu. This opinion said the logic is the bein tanis yochid, bein tanis sibur, kagen asar b'teva shechol b'erev Shabbos. It can fall on a Friday. Lo yisane rak ad sheyetzim beis hakneses. So according to the Yesh Omrim and the Ramah, it doesn't make a difference if it's a tanis yochid or a tanis sibur. You only go until after Ma'ariv, until you come out of shul on Friday night. Because then you makabel Shabbos from plag or from whenever time you davened Kabbalah Shabbos. Because you can't bring in Shabbos before plag. Just by the way, someone told me recently, there's some ladies going to shul Friday night in a certain shul here in the area, very popular. They all go Friday night, it's packed out. And now it's a big problem because if they daven mincha, say 7:15, and they want to be there for 7:15, they light beforehand and then they go off to shul. It's just too early to light. Lighting before, let's say they light at 7 o'clock and then they go off to shul. Their intention is very positive, but it's like lighting on Tuesday. It's just too early to light. That's why the Zmanim here, it says very clearly, light, not before 7:38 or whatever it is, and between 7:38 and 8 o'clock. That's what it's about. Anyway, so shemispalim me plaga min chvelech, that you can daven from plag onwards, which is 10 and 3/4 hours, 11 less a quarter. V'ashos hein zmanis, and of course it's halachic hours, not 60-minute hours. V'ayin lekamon siman reish samachalev. Or mikri ali dezeh hashlomas hatanis, and you've fasted until Ma'ariv, and that's called you've been mashlim your tanis. Mashem misane adach Kabbalah Shabbos. V'uadin be'erev Shabbos, be'erev Yontov adach Kabbalah Yontov. It works as well on every Yontov. V'chol gam liyesh omrim lo mikra hashlomas hatanis hatzeiser kechavim. Even the Yesh Omrim agrees that during the week hashlomas hatanis has got to be until night. It's got to be night proper. Machriya Ramah. Now the point is that the Ramah is machriya between these two shittas. The Ramah says the betanis yochid, dahainu sheyochid goza alatz betanis, that an individual it takes upon himself a tanis lismech ala Yesh Omrim de lo yashlim. That for a tanis yochid you can rely on the Yesh Omrim de lo yashlim, that you don't have to go all the way till nacht. You can wait until Ma'ariv, and that's all. But it's better to have expressly stated that when you makabel the tanis. But if you didn't, it's not ma'akev, and therefore you can start eating already when you finish Ma'ariv. However, of a tanis sibur chamirim is there. A tanis sibur is more strict. And therefore you've got to go all the way till night. And you can't say that I'm bringing out asar b'tevas a bit early when I'm a Kabbalah Shabbos. That doesn't work. To love b'dei tali milsa, because it's not up to you. This is a tanis sibur. For tzibur shegoz v'lazvan tanis mechodosh b'shvil eze inyan lo chamir kol kach u'mahani t'noi. However, if the certain community or makabel tanis, there are tragedies in that community or whatever it is, then it's not as strict as a regular tanis sibur and a tanai that it only goes until your Ma'ariv will be effective. Okay, good. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sifkot and Chof Beis. So we make the Ramah makes a chiluk between a tanis yochid and tanis sibur. But tanis yochid, says the Mishnah Berurah, tanis yochid nikra misha kibel al atzman lesanis be'erev Shabbos zeh, that a person was makabel, he's going to fast this Friday. Or he just has a custom to fast every Erev Shabbos or every Erev Rosh Chodesh, which falls on an Erev Shabbos. We're talking about people who don't say Yom Kippur Katan on a Thursday, because the Elu Ha'imrim Misan Gam Kein B'Yom Hei, because if you're fasting on a Thursday and then fasting on a Friday as well, that will be too much. Or another reason why you might want to fast on a Friday, that if a person fasts on a yard site, then that could well fall on a Friday. If you look at 34, regarding this, although the halacha is quite strict, Yossi, you fast on a yard site? No? It's interesting.
Rosh Hashanah, which should be on a Friday.
Yeah, because it's interesting because the halacha seems in Hilchos Aveda seems quite strict about it. But if you look at 34, the contemporary practice is not to do that. With a chiyuv tanizu, hayra agon shlemezam and arbach. Even though there is a mitzvah to fast on the day of the yahrzeit, nowadays we're just much weaker than, we don't make them like they used to back in the day. We're much weaker than previous generations. But particularly those who are learning, and not eating is going to make them very weak. They won't be able to learn properly, and in a way it's going to be better for the neshama of the yahrzeit that they're marking, that they actually learn better rather than fast, and just it's going to be a shvach day's learning. The stipler, the Kanievsky. Okay, carrying on. Or for example, there's a minhag to fast on Chav Zivan, which we're coming up to. For various tragedies that have happened, that's quite strict. I know I've got a friend who davened in Sadigeh, and the previous Rebbe was very makbid. He was making a chasna in this time of year, and when he was planning it, he said to him, "Gazalda, you can do whatever day you want, but not Chav Zivan." They're very strict about it. Okay, so some people fast on Chav Zivan. Tanesim Hamavar B'Siman Tov Kuf Pei, which discusses all the various other Tanesim then. Kosa Wogan of Rom. Timisana B'Chol Erev Shabbos, if a person does fast on every Erev Shabbos, for Hishlim Pam Rishon, and on the first one, the first time he did it, he went until Nacht, then that's become your practice, and therefore all subsequent Friday fast days you need to go to the line, i.e. till it gets dark, till Nacht. If you look at 35, let's say for example he couldn't do it, one day he was traveling or he wasn't feeling well, you've undertaken a good practice and therefore it becomes like a neder. That's a good example of where you do Hataras Nadarim. Of course you don't have to wait till Rosh Hashanah to do that. Yeah, you just take 3 men and you do Hataras Nadarim. Masha'en came Batanis Sibur. She'af mishenenas ve'en yochel lizanas by an ein tzorich lahatara. That's useful information. If, for example, let's say you're not feeling well and therefore you can break your fast on a tanis, you don't need hataras nadarim for that. Okay, let's back to the Mishnah Berurah. We're up to the 1, 2, 3, 4 wide lines down in my one. V'hu adin b'chol hanitzka le'el. The mistama calls man shelo hisna b'feirish she'ein daita lahashlim tomid. Unless you expressly thought or said that you're going to mashlim, you're going to go to nacht. Then that sort of sets the precedent for all subsequent occasions. The better would be, don't be mashlim on the first one. Just wait until Mariv, otherwise you're setting yourself up. Then on all subsequent occasions you have to go till Nacht. And even though and so too, when you initially you want to fast on a yahrzeit, or Erev Chodesh, or you decide to fast on Erev Chodesh, or Shatanesim Hanal, Chol B'Chol, and the first year of the yahrzeit it fell on a Monday, and then subsequent years it happened to fall on a Friday, of a Chol Halei Mashlimin, and when it fell on a Monday, on those days, let's say a yahrzeit or Erev Chodesh, you went until Nacht. Valkein yesh poskim t'sfir lehu ta'afilu kasher achakach b'erev Shabbos gam kein tzorich lahashlim al tzesek kachovim. That if the first time you did it, it was on a Monday and you went till Nacht, and then it subsequently falls on a Friday, that you need to continue until tzesek kachovim. The mistama daita liznai kein tomid, because mistama, that was your intention all along. Im lo kashizn beferish ein daita liznai kein le'olam, unless you expressly said that. V'yesh cholken al zeh u'sfir lehu the mistama lo kibel lasman lahashlim af b'erev Shabbos. And others say no. If it fell on, if the first time you did it was on a Monday, and you went till Nacht, and then a few years later it fell on a Friday, you don't have to go till Nacht. And if you're feeling a bit distressed, you don't have to wait till Nacht, and you can wait until you come back from shul, and you can break your fast over Kiddush. Even though it's a long day and it's still not dark for another bit, for a while. Okay. Then let's just carry on Mishnah Berurah Chaf Gimel. What is this going on? Now, this is going on the Tanis Chalom. So Tanis Chalom, interestingly, is very strict. A person has a bad dream. The way to mitigate it is by fasting. We'll see in Mr. Shem, it's quite a while till we get there, but you're allowed to even do that even on Shabbos. you're allowed to fast on Shabbos. What about Oneg Shabbos? And the Mishnah explains, fasting is your Oneg. You're so distressed by the dream, by you fasting, confident that it's going to mitigate the bad effect of the dream, that's an Oneg Shabbos for you to fast. So anyway, if a person has a dream, let's say on a Thursday night, and he wants to fast on Friday, then he goes, I'd say Sakichovim. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Chaf Gimel, V'afilu yesh omrim hanal moed v'zeh. Even in the yesh omrim would agree to that. I.e., even the yesh omrim who say that you only have to wait until you come in from shul. When it comes to a tanis chalom on a Friday, even they agree that you should go tonight. Sharafilu b'Shabbos atzma yochel lahaschil b'tanis tanis chalom, because the tanis chalom is so strict that you can even do it on a Shabbos. And certainly, therefore, you should go till nacht. V'hinei yesh me'apoiskim shecholkin v'soverin to gam b'tanis chalom dai lahavdin at sheyesim v'esaknes aris. There are those who are actually more makel and say that you only have to wait until you finish shul on Friday night, even for a tanis chalom. To bezem mikri hashlama, that's called being mashlim the tanis. Aval achronim hiskimu mashulchan Orach de'ein lahokil bezeh to kiven shu mipnei hasakana, because we're dealing with tanis chalom, a bad dream that you had, and therefore we're dealing with matters of sakana, levatel or levar chalom ra, to mitigate and a bad dream. Shema lo yoy levatlo im lo yashlim ad halayla. It could be that it's not going to be effective unless you go all the way till night, and therefore you are on the side of caution, and you'll do that. Okay, Beseda, let's leave it there.